Hello and welcome back to Wild Sun Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne and we are here to make postcards across the COVID miles. Please like this video if you like it, comment and let me know how you're doing. Subscribe if you want to get the rest of the videos in this series pretty easily, and share it with a postcard friend for you so that you can do this together. All right, you ready? So first I wanted to talk about what we did last time, which was to make these great lollipop flower right here. So this is what they look like when you put a backer on them, and you know, they're pretty sturdy, which is great. They'll get through the mail just fine. Remember, we talked about how you could color the leaves and the lollipops yourself, or you can send this in black and white to your friend and offer that they could color it in however they like. I also put these little polka dots in. There were some bare spaces and it wasn't big enough for another lollipop, and so I just put in polka dots. So there we are. Today we're going to talk about making backers. So I print them out 3 to a sheet on cardstock, and you know, I'll print a bunch of pages all at once, and then I always have backers for all the postcards that I've been making, which is great. So on a backer, we've got the name postcard, which is something that I've seen on postcards that are like 100 or 150 years old, and I just think it's really cute. And we've got a line down the middle, so you've got writing space and address space, and I did 4 lines, one for somebody's name, their street address, and you can start over here, you don't have to start there. Like my kids have apartment numbers in their addresses, so their street address is really long. And then the city and the state, and 1 line for the zip code. And then I've left about a 1/2 inch down here free. Sometimes in the United States, you'll notice they're little, it's like a red barcode thing that they put on the bottom, and I think that just helps the machines read the mail faster. So I left space for everything. There's a little space around the edge. Of course, if you're writing in nice, small handwriting, you've got quite a bit of room there. Or if you just want to say hi, you can do that. Okay. Oh, and I also wanted to say, you can draw anything. Please don't stop at lollipop flowers. If you like to draw cars or cakes or the Catskill Mountains or cats, please draw anything that you like to draw, because that's going to make the best postcard, is when you're thoroughly engaged and having a lot of fun. So, and you can make it an all over pattern, you can draw something just right in the middle, you can, anything you want. So because these cards are in black and white, I actually put them together and put them on my photocopier, and I copied off a bunch so that I can send them to lots of people all at once. So there's that. So let's talk about how to make these backers. On the American letter-sized paper, you can only fit 3 spaces onto 1 piece of paper. So there we are. And there's just, you know, leftover space. What are you going to do? So the first thing I did was I measured around the edge. This is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and a 1/4 inch. And this works out actually to be 3/4 inch because it's the extra. This is gripper. That's what it's called in the printing industry. And you know how when we print on our photocopies, it doesn't often print all the way to the edge. This, it's not a whole 1/4 inch, but I make it a 1/4 inch to, you know, in case I get the page in the copier a little wonky or the copier is just printing wonky that day or whatever, it leaves me plenty of room, and there is room to get 3. So the first thing I did was measure the grippers, and the second thing I did was measure 6 inches. So I drew that line, and then I divided this space into 4 inches and 4 inches because a standard postcard is 6 by 4 inches. And then I added the third one in there, which brings this measurement to just over 10 inches. So it's perfect for an 11-inch piece of paper. And then I started figuring out how to set up the space. So I drew a line down the center to make it really obvious which side is the writing side and leave plenty of room for the address and that little half-inch space for the little pink, red tick marks. So there's room for name, street, city, state, and zip. And I drew a little box for the postage stamp just for fun. The postage I have now is actually a little square stamp, so the lines show, but that's just cute. And then I could have just done the word postcard, straight across the top. But I've seen them done in old-fashioned cards where there's a curve. So I could have used like a big dinner plate or something to help me get that, but that's kind of cumbersome. So I realized that on my box of facial tissues, this is the part you tear off when you get to the actual package of, the plastic opening of the tissues underneath. And I realized that this is a curve. I don't know. There was a box of tissues in my studio, and I saw that, and I thought I would just go with that. So you'll notice that there are little perforation bumps along this edge. And I just took a pair of scissors and got that so that it was even. And then I put it right there and I traced the line. Now, where did I get all these pretty fonts? I went onto my computer and I wrote out postcard in a whole bunch of different fonts so that I could sort of see which one I liked the best. And I ended up choosing, this one is called Desdemona. This one is called Copperplate Gothic. And on my computer, this one is called Harrington. So what I did was I used a light box. If you don't have a light box, use just a window to the outside in the daylight. And there's a ton of sunshine. Even on a cloudy day, there's a lot of light out there. And it works pretty well. And so I put this is my Copperplate Gothic, and I put this underneath, and I don't really know if you can, you can just barely tell. So even without the light box, I could figure that out. And postcard's a great word because they're 4 letters on one side of the center and 4 letters on the other side. So what I did was, if that's the center, right between the T and the C, I sort of tilted the word a little bit so that the T was really sitting. Now, this had my final version sitting on top of it. So when I was tracing it onto this paper, I sort of tipped the T a little bit so that it sat on the line below this copy paper. And then I tilted it a little more, so the paper's on top. And then I tilted it a little more and a little more to get the P to sit on the line. And I went back to the center. And I tilted the C a little bit. And then I tilted this paper a little bit more for the A and more for the R. more so the D would sit on the line. Does that make sense to you? I hope that it does. Leave me a comment if this is not making sense to you, or of course you're welcome to just trace, to just trace that straight across, and it looks really cool just like that. So no problem. So I ended up with this. This is just on a piece of paper so that I could, it worked really easily on the light box. And I keep, this is my original paper. So I keep this in a plastic page protector so that I don't, spill things on it and the corners don't get crinkled, and it's, all set to go on the copier. And then I just make a bunch of copies, and they're here for me to cut out. When I cut them, I cut these black lines off. You can see. But you can do it however you like. I mean, you could actually draw sort of a fancy, and then you would have a frame, and that could look really cute. So there we are. These are your backers. And I think I've told you everything I wanted to tell you, and we're all set to go. So make some backers for yourself so that you always have something to make your cards. Where did I put my cards? Oh, postcards. Where did you go? I don't know where they went. They've walked away. Yeah. Oh, good grief. These are the postcards. So these just have a nice weight to them. They'll get through the mail just fine, and you won't lose your mind and wander around looking for things. They're sitting right in front of you. Sorry about that. My blessing wish for you today is that you will find yourself a friend or even a couple of friends with whom to share postcards. In my art journaling group, we have decided to send each other postcards once a month. So we get to spend a month figuring out a cute design, and so I'm going to get like a bunch of postcards every month. This is so exciting. I'm really thrilled. Anyway, so I hope that you will find a postcard partner, or, 8. Good luck finding artistic friends to share this with. And I will see you next time with a really fun project. This is so great. You're going to love it. It's very, very colorful, which is super. See you next time. Bye.